Today we're gonna review the first 2 or 3 maps of British Hurricane versus Falcons eSports, and this is the June contenders finals of EU contenders, the best region. Like now, I changed my opinion on them. Better than much funner games than contenders Korea. Interesting region. So yeah. Anyways, both teams are gonna run Brawl on Sanctum. Falcons are running the sim, which means they will get this bridge position first, but this is a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that they get this position. The curse is like they don't have much poke to take advantage of it. So as you can see, like you might run like Sim Cree if you want to like play a more poke oriented strategy, but if you expect the enemy to run like Brawl, then Mei is just a non-negotiable. You pretty much have to have a Mei. So they have to go Sim Mei, which is not ideal. So like their goal really here is to just to hold the either hold the bridge position denied from the enemy, but I'm not sure what they'll do. Do they want to like push because they can't just try to hold them here in this like little choke? Oh, hi Dragonfly, how's it going? I'm gonna continue the Falcons versus Sheer Cold review next stream, but for now. I want to review like I want to see British Hurricane. So intended the British is intended. So since they're playing Sim, like thinking about it, I'm not a really big fan of the Sim here because this bridge position dominates this point really. And controlling this bridge position and having range poke is pretty powerful. It means that they can't just walk onto point. So, sure, they're denying it here, but they don't really have the poke to use it. I mean, it's a fine strategy, but Falcons will be pressured to do something. The Kree does give a significant poke advantage. So I do personally like the Kree better. Like Sim is good on points where you can just turtle, where you can force the put point pressure, but this is only positional pressure, I'd say. Like you deny this area, sure. If they walk into this area, it's death because of these Sim turrets, but there's not like that extra point pressure required to make the Sim worth it. So I do prefer the Kree. Oh, KSAA makes a critical error. This is a critical error. So, you see, KSAA tries to go for point control and Finzi matches, but the problem is that both teams are still, like, the rest of the team is still poking. It's still, like, poke phase for these cores. So, Hybrid's gonna have free poke on KSAA, and since they're not running something like Ana, obviously you want to run BAP, but since they're not running like Ana, then they can't really support this. They can't really support KSAA, which means that Hybrid is just going to chunk down KSAA as he's trying to take the point control. Like, if he wants to do this, he has to, like, wait until his team is brawling before he goes for this point control. Otherwise, he's just going to get chunked down. And as you can see, KSAA, boom, boom, boom. They go now, but everyone's just focusing KSAA. Does anyone focus Finzi? Like, is it even Hybrid shooting KSAA? No, it's not Hybrid. It's the rest of British Hurricane who are shooting KSAA, and Finzi gets nobody's shooting at Finzi because it's kind of like a mixed commitment. So British Hurricane are standing here. They're committed to winning control of this point. They're winning control with their diva. So they focus their attention on like shooting KSAA, but instead Falcons are simultaneously trying to push in, and they're not putting any poke on Finzi, but they're trying to take this position as well. So British Hurricane are focusing on this map control fight, but Falcons are half-assing this map control fight and just pushing their core into British Hurricane. But look, KSA is just gonna lose. Like, sure, like the initial shock of the engage does bring them a bit down, but in fact it's Falcons who have the first and more. forced, and yeah, and they lost the map control battle, so Finzi gets this angle to use. Not a really good showing by from Falcons. Wait, but like if they're like sure, KSA allows Falcons to go in without being poked out by hybrid, but hey, there's this. This is the Maywall. I don't know what's happening because brawl. But I'm guessing that that Grafin, they can't prolong this fight long enough to they couldn't prolong this fight long enough to give Grafin beam charge. So as you can see, the beam's like low, but since KSA loses the battle, Finzi can put free shooting at an angle and can finish the fight for British Hurricane before Grafin gets max beam charge and gets a slight advantage. So it's these small things that count. Like this map control battle is separated from the main fight. It seems it's actually really important because Finzi can win control of the point and just go and free shoot Falcons' backline from the behind. So and like Falcons do get the, but like as I say that, let's look at how the rest of the fight ensues. So so like Grafin dies, but nobody's shooting Loshish. So and they lose two because yeah, I don't think Finzi pushed that angle aggressively enough. Like he was somewhere in the middle. But yeah, it looks like BH are just going to play like slow now. They're just gonna play for their poke ult and poke from range. So like BH do have an ultimate advantage now, and they're gonna do the window. BH forces out utility. It forces out some utility, but okay, this Maywall, it's decent. It's a pretty good Maywall, all things considered. But they trade Maywalls. And yeah, this should be a win based on ultimate advantage. But how does Psycho get so much done? He popped the freeze in here, and so British Hurricane they went for control of this, but they had like poke ults, which aren't really as effective as brawl ults in this small sight line. So like they trade May ult. What else do they trade? Yeah, basically they use May ult and it gets two, so they do trade a bit. Like from here, the High Noon doesn't really get anything done. So another option for BH that fight was they could just force point and play for spam. So like that's what I was actually kind of expecting. So instead of like fighting for this bridge position, it is powerful, but you do get the silver lining that Falcons don't have a Creed to really take advantage of this. So they could just force onto point. Just force point and then like they could have an off angle here, have BAP maybe poke this way, and then like try to put poke using the High Noon and the window. So try to like play from multiple angles, but force point and play for heavy like spam. But on the other hand, instead they go. That's too much thinking. That just feed, yeah. First game in any series is always the most scuffed series. Like, I hate it. I hate this comp. I hate both comps. I don't like Brawl. I don't like watching Brawl. It's Like, live coaching Brawl is probably the worst experience ever in coaching. That's why I became an analyst instead of a coach. Anyways, um, so like Falcons, they actually keep the point. It's because like they didn't get much value from their poke ults. So Falcons had trade. Falcons had bridge. The Falcons could deny like the bridge position. Indeed, oh, what the fuck is happening? Honestly, I had to rewind like this at least like 5 or 6 times to know what the heck was happening. So Falcons, like, they're like, they do get like ults and they just fight on point, but British Hurricane, they didn't get value out of their 2 poke ults. They like Falcons could have just forced point and tried to use those poke ults to deny the rotation. Maybe Falcons could just TP on point, but think turn brain off and feed. Modern Brawl actually is really very much based on map control. It's just that teams are still stuck in the phase of, hey, we're gonna press W. Like sometimes I flame teams for being too aggressive, like too passive, but oftentimes I blame teams for being too aggressive. Like I think that's a bigger problem. It's because they don't have the positions and then they just push in, or they don't clear the angles properly before pushing in. So they're now fighting on point, a fight which should favor BH on it. Actually no, like the Kree should get an advantage. I don't know what I was thinking. Having to be Lucio. Yes, Lucio's all about feeding. I honestly don't like playing Lucio. It's like his projectile speed is painful. So BH will win this, but it was a very messy fight. like honestly, how do these Lucio survive playing this? Don't they want to play some? Don't want to play like well, maybe. Well, I honestly consider Break Funner. Have deep hatred for Masters plus Lucio. Double flex support. Yeah, double flex support's fun. Both supports actually get to like make like plays and stuff. So BH are gonna win this, but I don't know. Like they popped a lot of ults and but it looks like Falcons are going for a stall comp. I'm not sure what happened this fight though. Like how did BH like win this? I thought Falcons were gonna win this. Oh, so they beat Engage. They get a good Maywall. There's nobody here, so and then like yeah, it was just decided like their supports were kind of split. Like honestly, this is like a clusterfuck. So they're gonna have Kree Doomfist, Kree May. At least there's a Doomfist. At least there's some variety. They're gonna hold Bridge instead of the choke. And generally, like in a Brawl mirror, you don't like normally you'd hold this choke, but since they're mirroring, it isn't like the Brawl like Brawl can like break through this choke better than other comps. So instead of prioritizing that, holding choke's still good, but like instead of prioritizing that, they want to prioritize like their spam heroes instead. So that's why instead of holding choke, they hold the bridge position. And in a Brawl mirror, instead of holding like the brawly positions such as chokes, you normally hold like really oppressive poke positions. I mean, very oppressive poke positions like bridge. Like on Route 66 is another example. Like normally you hold like that corner, but if you're playing a Brawl mirror, if you know the enemy's running Brawl, then first you might spawn camp and then like you hold gas station. And the reason is because like you want your Kree to outvalue their Kree. Like who cares about these? Like May is also kind of pokey, so May and Bap. So you want these 3 and Lucio. I forgot. How can I forget Lucio? So like you want these 4 heroes to have a better position than the enemy's 4 heroes. Like these really heroes that benefit from poking. So that's why British Hurricane are not holding the choke. They're holding here. Oh, this wall riding. Holy shit. He's going for a boop. He's gonna get it. No, he doesn't. So Falcons, they decide to rotate like away from coast and go on and just force point. It looks like they're just, instead of like fighting here, they're gonna force point and use their spam ults, but such an annoying hero. Yeah, fucking I hate playing against Lucio's as monkey. They just boot me out of my bubble. And unfortunately, we did, my Zarya double, as they call it in the coaching industry, double condom. So, like when your Zarya bubbles you and you drop your own bubble, that's an official coaching term in the industry, double condom. So okay, let's see what happened here. So they fight on point, but they still haven't cleared like the bridge position, which means BH should have a better position for their Pokemon. Fuck, Morgan not allowed to play game. So BH, they throw a bomb to force out abilities mainly, and then they hop onto points. Oh shit! But yeah, like by not taking the bridge position, they're kind of being surrounded. So like they're stuck into this room, and BH should win this fight. If they don't, then I don't know what to say. So they're just gonna hold. They just really have to wait for cooldowns and then push into that. So they try to break out, but yeah, it's not gonna work. And yeah, they just reset. So BH have high noon, so they're gonna set up here again. This is pretty good, especially when you have high noon. Falcons, they really want to be trying to take this position. So Finzy's on an angle. Wait, you can clear us. I think you can clear us. You can just like play like a more secure position here where they don't have angles, and you just shoot Finzy, and you force him back. You can clear a Diva. Like if this fight's lost, then it might be because of Finzy's here and KSA is stuck here. Or KSA can try to contest that. Now they have equal poke, but Hybrid has a better position. So KSA probably doesn't want to contest that until both teams are brawling. So okay, Finzy's like just free shooting, and so like they decide to like take the bridge. Like he's not doing much from that range, but he's just like mainly, it's one of the reasons might be scouting, for example. Second reason might be if they land a good Maywall, then Finzy can look to Matrix from an angle and try to peel and stuff. And finally, like this position just gives an option. It gives the option to contest if BH decide to push in with like their beat engage or something, then Finzy has a pretty good position for the backline access. So BH get a good Maywall, and they decide to match, and they force out. Finzy has to come back, but both teams are trading ults, but really this is kind of a dirty fight, but BH do beat, and yeah, all I can say is they had beat and Falcons didn't. Yeah, so he's a threat to like make a play later, and he's also useful for like scouting and stuff, for example. But mainly it's just for positioning, just to like hold when you're defending like a lot of amateur teams, like for example a lot of like Plat, Diamond, Masters teams. I don't really see them set up before fights, so like it's something I want to see more often. Like you do want to be like looking to set up before fights and try to like make it so the attackers have to like waste time clearing those angles, and like holding those angles gives you an option to try to like yeah. And map control in Brawl has been a thing that and map control in Brawl has been something that's progressively being more valued. Like before many teams, they just play stack together. Well, we have to stay together. Like no, you don't. there's so much of the map to use. Why aren't you using all of the map, or like at least like a more than like a small part of the map? Like like it's refreshing. Like Spylo like actually recognizes like the value of angles and shit. Like map control is important. Like he harps on map control so much because like it's honestly like the foundational concept of the game. Like a lot of the like the majority of fights can be chalked down to someone was better taking map control than the other team. So and like if you have bad map control, it doesn't matter how good your mechanics are or shit, like you can't do shit. There's so much of the map to use. Why aren't teams using the whole map? That's what I always ask. So they're going British Hurricane. They have they're playing for spam on point. They have to force point, so they're holding here and just trying to spam point. So Falcons are trying to clear it, or just trying to like close the distance and brawl with this position. And meanwhile, that's happening. But Finzi actually demechs KSAA. KSAA, like, he can test the angles here, but this is mistimed. But I think he has to actually has to, but like, if this point wasn't a concern, this would be mistimed because they can just poke out KSAA. Like, he has to wait until his team's actually drawing attention before like contesting this map control. Otherwise, like, everything's just gonna support KSAA, and everything's just gonna like go into KSAA, like all of British Hurricane's pressure, and Finzi is just gonna win the battle. So British Hurricane are the difference between Falcons and British Hurricane here is that British Hurricane are better at this point at managing their poke phases. Their poke phases are better than Falcons, and Falcons are trying to like brawl more and play aggressive, but KSAA just mistimes like his map control, like his attempts to like take map control. So right here, like KSAA gets demech'd. They pop the beat. Wait, what happened here though? So like KSAA actually gets mech back. He has so Dala tries to like do like a sort of gank, as they call it in League, for example, and support this map control battle on point. Okay. And to back it up, like to prevent British Hurricane from forcing a 5v4, Falcons like pop a May ult, which is like which slows down the tempo. So British Hurricane can't like take advantage of this. So yeah, this is actually kind of well played, like on the second half by Falcons. They used their tempo ult to help take this map control and win the fight against Finzi. And now they should be able to just push left, and as you can see, KSAA is behind and is able to peel back for a lull shish, and they just push in. So this was actually like well played by Falcons. Like they had to touch point because of the point, but like they used the tempo ultimate, and then like Dala went on a gank like on point to force a 2v1, and then like they actually won. As you can see, map control, it decides so much. So like now, but like they did lose a lot. They did lose a lot to try to like take that point. And what happens now is Lulshish dies, so they have to like play the back half of point and play for spam. But they don't really have spam ults. They have Diva ult, but that isn't really useful in like a poke phase. So like Lulshish dying there might be big, and Hybrid actually wins against Grafin. Where the fuck is Grafin? Stuck here for some reason. So like he didn't retreat. Like he was stuck in Mega. You see like how you see why I hate Brawl now. It's like like why are these teams just like balling these fights? Like imagine live coaching this shit. Thank God I'm an analyst, not a coach. Like what the fuck is happening? So It's like Psycho like sets thing. At least Admiral's trying to contest the staging. British Hurricane are zoned off the back half of point, but so like it looks like Falcons do have a map control advantage, but Loshish is not pushing. But like the Doomfist is not effective when like this Doomfist is probably to cheese a kill, but the Doomfist is not effective without pressure this way. So that was like a cheese play that like failed. So BH should take this. Bro. Holy shit. What the fuck is happening? Okay, please play ball or some shit. Okay, it's Brawl Mirror again. So both sides are gonna play Sim May, okay? So both teams are gonna go here. Finzi. Both teams trade Maywalls, and what the fuck is happening? Hybrid gets Hybrid goes too deep. Like Hybrid doesn't kite with his team. Hybrid's taking an off angle, but okay. So wait. Why can't they just push that? Like they forced out the M more. Like wait, I mean like both sides traded in more, but like don't mind that Low Shush has like don't mind that like yeah, like they don't have that much HP, sure, but but like Hybrid's on an angle, and like if they don't push this angle, then Hybrid's just gonna die. So like, why don't they just push? Well, like Hybrid has better map control, but like if they don't push, then Hybrid's helping British Hurricane have better map control, but if they don't push that, then they're just gonna close that angle and kill Hybrid because Sim's not mobile. Like, TP aside. So they're gonna look to rotate and kind of stabilize a bit, and then they go in again. Oh my god, what the fuck's happening? I guess it's a 5v6, so like Helv is gonna die before Loshish. Okay, please tell me the rest of these maps are like something more like same, like Double Bubble or ball like Diva or some shit like that. I don't mind reviewing like Talon Dive. So, like, now, as you can see, they're going to teleport up there. Map control. Remember, map control. And like, from here, like, they have, like, a couple options. So, this teleport's good because, they can choose to take a fight at... They can choose a TP. If they clear high ground, then they can choose to, like, take a fight at this choke, which is, like, a really tiny choke and confers a big advantage to BH, which would force them to, like, roll out from low ground. And you can see they want to avoid that, so they're rolling out from low ground. So, but like if you roll out on low ground, then like you can like from this teleport position, then sure it's not going to be that valuable if they roll out from low ground. But if they do decide to go main, for example, then you get good like spam angles from here with your Mei, and the spam does absolutely matter. If anything, it will force out back left shift, which is like a often abused ability in like Brawl Mirrors, especially. So like now they're gonna rotate. They're gonna fight here. They Maywall. They trade Maywalls, and at the end of this, Psycho dies. Nice. These are really enlightening. Oh, the pin. So wait, did Psycho use Ice Block? How wait? Like you see, this is why I hate Brawl Mirrors. Like and they trade pins and and like the sim wall like arrives just in time to block that shatter, but they beat engage into Falcons and they win. Wait, what? What? So why was nobody helping? Oh, why were there like 5 people on like a single like however the fuck this is? Why like is KSA really that big of a threat? Like sure he has Diva Bomb, but you can pretty much use like that pillar to hide from it. So they might actually clutch this fight because they were all focused on a fucking Diva. So these were probably some comms issues on BH's part. But they still win because, you know, since their line was pushed, like they were like their back line was separated from their front line. I hate saying that they were split because you're kind of supposed to split in Brawl, but like when your back line's separated from your front line, then that's a problem. Okay, so this is like really fun gameplay. I love it. So they're gonna teleport 2 point. Oh, wait, they teleport near coast instead. So they're gonna try to like surprise flip the map type of spiel, and actually surprises them. So so Skrippa's out of position. Wait, where the fuck is Skrippa? Huh? Reviewing Brawl Mirrors without full replay. Yeah, Skrippa, like, it kind of surprises them, and Skrippa, like, is holding, tries to back up to near, like, here, but by Diva. Well, where's Finzi, though? Finzi needs to peel this off. I'd rather watch Goats than this, honestly. At least with Goats you have, like, the Zen, and the Zen battle is interesting. Like, the Zen Discord Harmony map control battle. Like right here, like both divas like they're really like they really take angles late because otherwise you're just gonna get poked out. So like Finzi's like unless Finzi is trying to like trade off like Exarath here, then this is bad. Okay, and like that bad trade just allows Falcons to win. So they sim TP to here. And the reason why like they're sim TPing to seemingly trivial places, aside from the fact that this is better, like this is less choky, is that like if they already have angles set up, then they have to like reestablish these angles. And once you do TP, and in that time you can like just run into them so that they can't set up their angles. So this is mainly a map control thing as well. As you can see it forces out an awkward map window. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? So like this is an awkward map window, but they are getting pushed back. The Maywall walls of Lolshish. Damn, I love that name. Okay, they force out the M more KSAA bombs, and then there's a what the hell is happening? Okay, like how does so like this? Okay, let me see how Admiral died here. So if they where the fuck is Admiral? Where the fuck is anyone? Like what the hell is this? What? How are these? Okay, so okay, this is a small thing. If British Hurricane knew that they have Diva Bomb, then Admiral should really be like closer to this pillar instead of here. That's probably why. And then 6v5 with Dala having the thing. Falcon should win this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. What the fuck is happening? It's just everyone's throwing abilities at each other. Like, you can't really review Brawl Mirrors unless, like, you have individual POVs because it's so resource dependent. You could lose a fight just because your BAP misused left shift, like, 5 seconds ago. And the enemy BAP has left shift. That's, like, the margins you're playing with. In Dive Mirrors, it's like, more positioning and, like, stuff and timing. In Brawl Mirrors, it's just resources. It's just mainly cooldowns and map control aside, but both teams are going to trade, but the Admiral pick snowballed, and like they're both, and like BH ultimately had to use more cooldowns to sustain. So like Brawl Mirrors, okay, it's 1 a.m. And I'm staying up to what you're staying up to watch this shit. You're staying up to watch like two teams play Brawl Mirrors. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you. Yes. That's what I'll name it, actually. Great idea. Thanks for it. Like, so both teams are gonna run Sim May again, standard. They're gonna fight here. They're gonna fight around this pillar. BH does a mid-fight teleport to point, while like no Falcons do a mid-fight teleport to point, while BH tries to like flip the map, so to speak, and go on backline. Okay, so like this teleport, but as much as I kind of like this teleport, the thing is teleporting to point is just too powerful. So like holding this, like this map is dominated by like forcing the point. That's why you see playing teams run Brawl despite the long sight lines, long-ish sight lines. Aside from the fact that there are chokes, that's probably another reason. Like you can hold these chokes, but. So actually BH do like kill like their main tank, but they still die for some reason. Oh, they get the first BAP window, but okay. Let's see, how did I can't pronounce that properly. Okay, so Lolshish they trade Maywalls, and then like like Falcons, they really had to push into that quickly, but Lolshish takes too much HP loss, and even though Exarath has window. Why doesn't he use it? Why doesn't he mirror the windows and then he can just run into them? Yeah, like otherwise, like they're just gonna like here's the thing, they're just gonna play for spam now. Like if you're just turling point like this, then they're gonna have a poke advantage, and poke is how you do break such a point hold. So like every time they pop like ults just to poke you out, then your goal really is to match them so they can't use their poke ults. If they pop High Noon, then you might say, hey, well, usually High Noon wouldn't work well here. Like if they pop window, then you mirror with your own window, or you pop like you do beat engage or something. You just don't want them to poke you out of that position. And because like BH, like Falcons use like their window like pretty late, BH just gets the poke advantage and they push in despite fighting a 5v6. Wow. So they're just gonna play up here for. Nothing stops Falcons from just TPing onto point, but I guess Hybrid has the reaction time to do the same. So yeah, in a mirror it's okay. So like they're scared of like the teleport to point, so they're just gonna pop it. BH have like a lot of ults, so I don't like this. This is a bit too passive though. This is too passive. They have so many ults to work with. Like if this was something like Dallas would immediately like just brawl, like no fear, no pun intended by the way. They do have an ult advantage, but Falcons, they hold their ults really. But like BH used 5 ults, and the reason is because like since Falcons were putting that much pressure, were actually putting pressure. They actually were in a position to pressure. Then BH had to like use cooldowns just to respawn, and that means that they have to use more ults to win. And it's not even like particularly expensive as well. Like early initiations allow you to win fights easily because like they can't put any pressure if you pressure early enough. They're still stuck in a bad position, so they can't really pressure, and that means you can win fights with fewer ults. That's why Dallas, like in May, like once they fixed some of their comms issues and shit, they became so dominant. They're so aggressive. They always win fights if they even have a sliver of a win condition available. If they have like even like 1 or 2 ults, they can find a way to use it to win the fight early if they're on defense, especially. So, but like teams like in tier 2, they're usually less aggressive. It takes an immense amount of coordination to execute something like execute Dallas' style of aggressive initiations and stuff. And it's because even like a fuck up in timing can allow them to punish you. So like Dallas, like they basically have to be borderline perfect every time they're doing these very aggressive playstyle, and they But like since Element Mystic, they've been playing like on various teams for a few years. Like not always together, but they have like Element Mystic synergy, and they trust each other, and they have a coach that they've worked with for a very long time. Like some players on Dallas, they have been coached by Rush since like I think 2017. So like that really matters. Like those long time relationships matter. You know exactly what your coach wants of you, and your coach knows exactly how to communicate with you. And yeah, it's a blueprint for a great team. And Dallas, like as cheesy as their buy everyone from Element Mystic strategy sounds, is actually smart. You buy a team that has pre-existing synergy instead of having to like fit the pieces together yourself. So like Dallas just bought one of the most successful teams in Contenders history, and surprise, they rolled over teams that like pulled some parts out of random Contenders teams. So like now okay, aside from that, let's see what's happening. They're gonna TP on the point. The Maywall separates the backline. Like a lot of these are just Maywall trades, honestly. How does Helv die? So Helv gets he gets stuck in the freeze. Don't like yeah. And they have no ult to respond. So like this is just they had ultimates. They won. They win. Now you know that they have these many ultimates though. I wouldn't want to see like a really more aggressive play, like try to catch someone off guard type of thing. But they could just play passive and try to like use their defensive like advantage to force them to use a lot of ults, and then they can win the next fight with their ults. So Falcons are gonna win this. Okay, so this is a 7-map thriller, right? I wouldn't say thriller. This isn't really thrilling to review, so either team might win this. Fucking this is kind of so like both teams are. This is kind of like if I had to coach this meta, I'd coach Valorant instead too. So they pop the window, like they're gonna play for spam here. That's why they're holding high ground and stuff closer to point. They pop the window so they close the distance. Probably a bit too shallow. KSAA like goes for an assassination play, and like I think the baby diva. So KSAA just fed. Man, he actually does it as his team is kiting, so that was a misplay. Like Falcons are having some serious comms issues, it looks like, and it's just a 6v5. They just win. They're just probably gonna win the 6v5, and during that they have beat engage available as well. So like KSA just fed there while his team was kiting. Like it's okay to pre-stage, like just so you can prepare if your team's gonna push in again. You can pre-stage in an aggressive position if you're running something like Reaper or Tracer. But like when you're running Diva, like you're a fat target, they're just gonna like focus you for free. Even if you're staging like somewhere far away, they're just gonna poke you out, and you have to use Matrix otherwise. So BH actually win this, and I'm gonna say this: Finzi like outplayed KSAA there. Like Finzi's like angles were better, like a timing of his angles were much better. Okay, so thank God we have a slightly better meta. Both teams are gonna run double shield. Both teams are gonna get like Falcons are gonna get initial poke on high ground and drop. I like that. So now they're gonna pull combo. I'm not sure what that was for. Hybrids on an angle. Someone really needs to contest this. So we're just gonna push on the point. And interesting. So they're not gonna hold point, but they're gonna try to play for high ground spam. Interesting. I don't like this. It gives them way too many ticks. Like rotate. It's okay to rotate your Sigma up here, for example. Okay to rotate like some of your DPS, but you need like some point presence. Like the reason Orisa exists is not because like she's a pure poke hero, but because but because she's a poke hero with some brawl potential, so that can hold like close range for a limited amount of time. So that's what Orisa's for. If you don't want to play like Orisa within Orisa properly, then you should play something like honestly like Ball or Hog. Like I honestly think Hog's like a slept on hero a lot of the time. Hog's absolutely very annoying to deal with. So both teams, their Falcons are gonna hybrid kills Loshish, but Falcons, like, they do get the first window, which allows them to kind of retake the point. So it's a 5v5. KSA, they're just gonna play for Flux and yeah. Wait, where did Skrippa's ult go, though? No. I don't think so. It's so easy to just zone off the team. And yeah, this Flux, like, getting the first Flux there was big. Like, BH, like, they killed Loshish, but, okay, let's look at this again. So, it looks like, they're gonna pop the map window there. If they do, they should really try to establish, like, some angles, and then just all jam themselves into here. I'm not sure, like, why they have matching map windows, so it's, and you do have, like, your main tank available, so I'm not sure why they don't just rotate here and then, like, despite the window, like, in spite of the window, you just, like, use cooldowns to try to, like, yeah. But jamming themselves inside here just allows KSA to free spam and allows DPS to spam from top. And they're just giving away a lot of space. So, like, now, like, Falcons have, like, map control. Have a lot of map control. And British Hurricane are basically stuck in this little cafe without angles to use, so their chances of breaking out are pretty slim. Okay, so they're going to push on to point. Falcons are trying to do this flip the map thing again, but like even then, like holding this high ground's not gonna be really like oppressive. Like you can see, they have to like come out again. Like sure they have Grafin. How does Loshish kill Finzi though? Well, like they're jamming themselves into this little like small ass room. Oh god, not this tool. Like they're jamming themselves into this small ass room, which allows like British Hurricane to just like flip them, like you know, kind of like defend the point. And like if they use this high ground, then they can just literally play kind of away from the high ground, make it hard. And anyways, it's just one angle. In a brawl, in like a poke mirror, like along sight lines, multiple angles, they matter more than high ground. So like Finzi, so like now like they're gonna like spread out. They kill Finzi for some reason. Did he use like cult combo plus a lot? So they use a lot, but they use a lot just to kill Finzi. Maybe you shouldn't be playing here though. Maybe you should be playing closer to here, I guess. Or maybe here, but like playing here is okay, but like you don't want to be playing somewhere where they can just shoot you from this little room. You want it so that if they want to push you, they have to push into your team's angles. And someone needs to clear this, by the way. So Finzi dies because of a sloppy error. And now it actually gives them the chance to push in. So now like BH are surrounded. There's nothing to punish them from that side, or they just push in. And nobody's clearing that high ground angle. Like, let's look at like the Finzi cam. So they're stuck in here. Like, given that like you do have like 2 ticks on point though, maybe Finzi just makes this risky rotation here or right here. This would like put a lot of pressure and would hide themselves, like he would hide himself away from getting poked out from this from the stairs area. So, and if they try to push him, then you just either free point or you just push these angles. And in any case, you can clear like this high ground. But holding here, I don't like. Maybe he wants to be rotating further, like to the right. So but yeah, out of position and they win out of this. So British Hurricane, they do have a bank of ultimates to use. I want to see them set, but they do have like brawl ults really. So Falcons, I want them to actually like press W and initiate like aggressively. Like if you have rally, high noon, then like sure you want high noon to be like in somewhat long sight lines, but if you have rally, then honestly I think they should. Why are they playing so passive here? Like they have like they can just like pop window and zone them off of point and force them to like retake. So like Falcons' lack of aggression there, they could have just like ran into British Hurricane before they set up their angles. They had rally. That's like ult I used to mainly brawl. So it looks like they're just gonna Finzi like has this angle on the left side, which is good. Oh, they have an angle. You can push in. You can push in BH. And Finzi dies because nobody's relieving the pressure. Wait, what was pushing like British Hurricane back? They had rally. I mean, oh, low HP. So Finzi just had to like play less aggressively on this angle. I mean, they still do have rally though, so they could at least have like hybrid, like some DPS, or they just copy Orisa and try to push in. But Finzi dies because nobody's relieving that angle. Like they just need to push. Like like even if like Helv dies, and just make the space, allow Finzi to like get a lot of work done. But like right here, they're just not pushing the angle simultaneously. So like they die like sloppy. So now they switch to Ball or Orisa, presumably just to contest. Oh, Ryan. So this is like, hey, we're gonna cheese out a tick. We're just gonna cheese out a tick using Brawl like heroes. Which is okay, I guess. So like they force point, they have like their backline using the window. Sure. And they sorry. Helv is gonna back up, but there is too much spam. Like they do force point, but like this issue won't solve itself. Do they want to push and like? I'm not sure why Finzi didn't go Diva, because like if he went Diva, then he could have just like Matrix this way, and like Helv could have just ran this way, and while Diva like kind of tries to hold the point. And even if Diva's the mech, then you should be able to get a tick off of that or force them into something bad. But since they don't have Diva, they can't really push. Helv is gonna die like if he pushes any of these angles. So, or maybe he just rotates around. If he had time, then he'd rotate around maybe and try to like go into cafe or some shit like that. But then you just yeah. So yeah, sloppily played by British Hurricane. So both sides are gonna run the double shield. I'm not sure why teams are running the brig. I mean, usually with double shield, like if you run something like Mercy, then the enemy team's just gonna run some sort of dive. So, and like if you don't have a brig, then the dive can like just cheese a pick on one of your players. So, if you run Diva, then running Mercy or Zen would be much more appropriate. So they're gonna start on high ground, get some initial poke, and then they're gonna drop. So they're gonna wait until, yeah. Oh, how does that happen? How does that happen? Finzy's overextended. Yeah, like now KSAA. I heard KSAA was pretty good Sigma on Titans last year, but KSAA is proving that he is better Sigma here. So like they just push in, they just roll kind of. Psycho dies though, silver lining, but yeah, hard. This is gonna be difficult. They just brawl and push in. Okay. Let's go.